Hello, welcome to the Climbing Consciousness. Today I'm going to talk about why it's important to have personal hobbies and to keep doing them, even if they aren't making you money or having any value besides your own enjoyment of them. So, I'll start off by kind of saying I think there's a lot of pressure from our world to only do things that are going to help us academically or in our career path. That's kind of just the way the world is right now. It's like if it isn't going to benefit you in your career, or if it's not going to help you financially, then you're wasting time. It's a waste of energy because it's not helping you. What that mindset kind of misses is that the things that you do just for enjoyment absolutely help you. They do not help you climb the career ladder, but they help you in such infinitely giving ways, in the ways that a young kid just draws just to draw, and it helps him because he loves doing it. That doesn't just stop when you grow up. That's only something that a lot of us are told as we approach an older age, that we need to only concern ourselves with things that will help us. And where that view is really skewed is thinking that the only place for us to go is to get accelerated on a career path. That is like one part of life. One part of life. And there's family relationships, there's creativity, there's spirituality, and these categories of life are so important, and they're just as important as career. So, for this reason, a lot of people, including me, in my high school years and 20s, I guess, kind of just stop doing hobbies. A lot of people stop doing hobbies at a certain age, usually around the age when it's kind of expected for you to just get your life together, and get you figure out what you want to do with your life. That seems to be the time, I know that was for me, when I kind of just dropped a lot of hobbies. And I just became a workhorse, and I told myself that now it's just preparation to start my life. And it's really bogus, because when you go into life like that, and I speak from experience, you end up going in like a rigid board with no flexibility, and you've lost your concept of having fun. You've lost your zest, and you're going into life basically inviting it to just dump work to you because you clearly want to just be a workhorse. And it just isn't a good way to go about life, because those hobbies that you have when you're younger, you had them for some kind of reason that you probably don't understand. Like, I know for me, I drew a lot when I was a kid. I drew a lot. I was always doing artistic kind of things, and I would write books. I would pretend to write books, like Harry Potter. I wrote like 50 pages of a book just for fun. Just for fun. I would do that stuff all the time. I would write about things. I would make up animals and give them names. And there's clearly a reason that I was doing those things that I don't really understand. And we can't really understand ourselves in the concept of whatever social construction we're trying to be. I can't understand why I would make up animals and give them names when I'm trying to understand myself, thinking that I am the young male who needs to be a winner and go out and take on the world, which is kind of just the social construction of, in this culture, of who I think I need to be. And that's who I thought I had to be when I was exiting high school, entering college. It's different for everybody, but when I look at it now, I think I had those kind of hobbies because there's very much a need within me to let out creativity. There's a lot of creative potential in me, and it needs to be unleashed like that. It does me really well to kind of express it like that. And if I don't, then that energy, that creative energy, kind of just withers inside, and it just kind of contorts and does all these weird things and comes out as depression and anxiety and all the kind of things that you don't want to see. And it would be a heck of a lot better if maybe you kind of just wrote a poem about it instead, like those kind of things. So you can't always understand why you got joy from a certain hobby when you were younger. And a lot of times, you probably don't want to look at it again when you're reaching a certain age. I think I speak for a lot of people. For myself, I reached a certain age, and I was embarrassed to look at all the drawings I did when I was younger. I thought it was weird. I thought it was like this is not fitting into who I'm supposed to be. Like, I drew, what was I doing? I should have been playing sports. You know, things like that. Things like that. You kind of just, you look at the things that people start to tell you no longer have value, and then you kind of become embarrassed that you used to do them. But there's such a reason that you had those hobbies. And there's a reason that it gave you joy, and I guarantee you that you do that same hobby now, even if you haven't done it for 10 years, and you think of it as some stupid childish thing, give it a shot. I don't care what walk of life you're in, just give it a shot. If you, I don't know, sculpted when you were younger, try sculpting, and just see if it gives you the same joy it did when you were younger. I can almost guarantee you it will. It will give you the same joy. The only reason that you think it wouldn't is because you've dismissed the activity as something that isn't valuable anymore. But how can something that is supplying you with joy, and thereby supplying everyone else around you with joy, just by knowing that you are inherently joyful, be of no value? When we live in a world that seems to be more void of natural joy every day. It seems to me like those hobbies that give us joy is actually of utmost value and more needed than a lot of the things that we consider valuable. Feeling joyful is not a crime. And I think that very backwards thought that a lot of us think is true in a weird way keeps a lot of us from just doing hobbies for fun. Like for me, for example, now I write songs. And I just write them. And I don't have much of a plan with them. I just simply do it. And the process of doing it gives me such a joy I can't really explain it. It's just very enjoyable. and it gives such a sense of connection with the world I'm living in. Yeah, and there's no value, there's no money attached to it, it's not a stepping stone in my career path. It's just, it gives me something, and it relieves something out of me that I need to release. And the ironic part is, by doing that, by releasing all the beautiful energies that are in you, everything else in your life will only improve. Because there will no longer be this withering potential within you that is being suppressed. So whip out your old poem book, whip out your old drawing pad, whip out the old guitar that you've been saying you were going to play for the last 10 years. Give it a shot. See if it actually gives you some joy again. Because I bet it will. And more joy is always beneficial.